Hi guys, I Aziz welcome you to CoedMaster, and in this video I am going to talk about encapsulation. Encapsulation is one of the core principles of object-oriented programming, and people often confused with encapsulation with abstraction. In previous video, I have discussed abstraction in detail. So if you have not watched that video, then I highly recommend to watch that video and come back here and continue watching this video. So basically in this video, I am going to demystify the concept of encapsulation. I will explain what is encapsulation and why we need encapsulation. So if you are willing to learn encapsulation, then make sure to watch this video till the end. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Alright guys, let's begin this video. So guys, in previous video, I have shown you what is abstraction and how we achieve abstraction and what is the main purpose of abstraction. So let me recall once again that abstraction is a process of hiding unnecessary information and only showing the important and relevant information to the outside world. Okay, this was the purpose of abstraction. Now what is meant by encapsulation? So guys, first of all, let me tell you one thing, that encapsulation and abstraction go hand in hand, which means whenever you implement abstraction, you are automatically going to implement encapsulation, and whenever you are going to implement encapsulation, you are automatically going to implement abstraction. So as we know that abstraction basically means only showing the important and relevant information to the outside world, encapsulation on the other hand, it is a process of hiding internal state of an object from the outside world. So let me explain you this concept with this example. So I am using the same examples that we have been using in all the videos. So here we have notification service class, and this class is responsible for sending notifications. Okay, we have one push notification class, and this class extends notification class and implements iNotification interface. Okay, this is the public property of this class. Okay, this is the send method of this class, which is used to send notification, and this public class uses private class, and this private method is responsible for sending notification to Google and sending notification to Apple. Okay, so this is the structure of classes and interface looks like. Now the real question is, what is actually an encapsulation? So guys, encapsulation is a process of bundling data and method in a single unit. So as you can see over here that we have push notification class, okay, and this class has data, that is badge, and the method, that is send, and we have bundled the data and method in a single unit called class. Okay, in previous video we have seen that using abstraction we are providing the cleaner interface to the outside world using send method. Okay, so that outside world do not need to worry about how actually push notification is sent. Okay, but if you observe this class carefully, there is one major problem with this class, and that problem is this badge state. So the badge is the data that is only specific to this class, but right now this data is available to outside world, and outside world can easily mutate or change this data. Let me show you how. So we have a push notification object here, and if I call push notification and put dot over here, you will see that I can access the badge attribute of push notification class. Okay, which means that badge is exposed to outside world, and outside world can easily change the value of this badge attribute, right? But we have to protect this data from outside world. Why is it so? Because this data is private to this class. We do not want any other person to touch this private data. So that is why we encapsulate this data along with some method that operates on this data or attribute. So how do we achieve this? So first of all, we can mark this attribute from public to private, so that it is no more visible to outside world. Now let me show you. So if I call push notification dot, now you can see that we do not have any properties like badge available on this object. Okay, so using this private access modifier, we are making this property as completely private to this class only. So for now, nobody even access this data and nobody even write this data. So this is how we achieve encapsulation using classes, by binding data and method in a single unit. Now the next question is, what if we want other users to just access this data? Then in that case we can write a getter method. Okay, by using getter method, outside users can access this data. Okay, so what we did, we marked this data as private so that outer world cannot access this data directly. If any object has to access this data, then this object has to communicate via this method only. Okay, let me show you how. So if I call push notification now, then I can able to access the badge data or badge field using the get badge method, right? So this is how any person outside of this class can access this data via get badge method. So using this method, we are simply making this attribute as readable, okay? Because outside world can only read this data. Now what if I want to make this attribute writable only? We do not want outside world to read this data, but only write can data. So in that case, so instead of using get badge method, we can use set badge method. So by using this, outside world can only set this data or write this data. They cannot read this data. So this is how we can make this data private, and by using set badge method, outside world can set this data. Now the next thing we want to do with this attribute or this private field is we want to make this field readable as well as writable. So in that case, we can use two methods. One is for getting this data and one is for setting this data. Okay, this way we can make this attribute as readable and writable, but still the control is with the class only. Maybe possible that we can put one if condition here so that when condition becomes true, then only we can allow access to this data. And similarly, if we want to control the write access to this data, we can again put the if condition here, put some condition over here, and if the condition is satisfied, then only we can allow this data to be modified from outside world. So this is the advantage we get when we make the private field private and put two methods to read that data and write that data, that we can always have control over this data, then who can access this data from the outside world by putting a if condition inside the get badge method or by putting a if condition inside of set badge method. So this is how guys encapsulation help us in protecting the internal state of the class or object by using getter and setter method. So guys, this brings us to the next question, that why even we need encapsulation? Well, the answer to this question is really simple, that we want to protect the internal state of the object so that no one from the outside world can access the internal state of the object. As simple as that. And on top of that, the method and that is available in the object can access, read and write that internal state. Else no one has permission to access the internal state of the data. So guys, this is how abstraction and encapsulation go hand in hand. So do not get confused between abstraction and encapsulation. Let me recall once again. So using abstraction, you can hide internal details at designing level. Okay. And using encapsulation, you can hide internal details at implementation level, right? And this is what we did. Using abstraction, we are providing a clean interface, that is a send method of this class to outside world, and else the other internal details of how this method is working is private to this class. Okay, this is what we did in abstraction. Now encapsulation, we have first bundled the internal state and the method that operate on this internal state into a single unit, right? So which means in abstraction, we are hiding internal details at design level, and in encapsulation, we are hiding internal details at implementation level. So I hope by now this is clear to you that what is the difference between abstraction and encapsulation and how we achieve abstraction and encapsulation in object-oriented programming. So guys, this is all from my side for this video. If you learned something valuable from this video, then hit the like button in order to make YouTube algorithm happy. Please subscribe to this channel and don't forget to click the bell icon so my friend, you never miss any upcoming videos. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.